Previously on The Big Break, the Final Four face brutal conditions.
Here we go again. It's just going to be another one of those absolute mental challenges.
You want to play in a British Open?
You'll be prepared.
This is what you're going to deal with.
The skills challenge paired the guys up for a team competition.
The good news is this: the winning team is exempt from elimination.
Justin's birdie on the second hole turned the tide for he and Anthony.
Oh, yeah!
That's why you're on Golden Bear? And I landscape.
Craig and Randy were forced to battle it out in the elimination challenge.
Craig is saying, hey, anything solid, I'm going to win this contest. And Randy is going home.
Randy was eliminated. Craig, Anthony, and Justin have moved one step closer to the 4 Canadian Tour exemptions and the chance of a lifetime. The Big Break.
Pretty sweet game here. Golf channels and golf trivia challenge.
Nice.
We were all pretty pleased and very much congratulating each other and ourselves on we got this far. We got pretty far in the show.
Just about any type of golf question you could possibly think of. Here, I'll test you guys in a couple. We're all kind of proud of each other, and I told the guys, I said, listen, I said, there's no losers at this point.
What PGA Tour player is nicknamed Volcano for his sometimes volatile temper?
I'm Volcano Jr.
I think we're all pretty stoked, but we're just, no one's a loser. That's been the theme of the week. I mean, if you made it on the show, you did good, and you made it deep in the challenge, you're doing great.
We woke up and saw the weather, and it was similar to the other day. Just nasty, wet, cold, a lot of sitting around and waiting for things to be right, and we were anxious to get things going, but it's kind of been dragging out, so it's tough on everybody.
You came here to do the best you can, but you're thinking about winning. I mean, I think everyone that showed up in the back of their head is thinking, looks around the room and says, all right, I can do this.
You see the guy, Anthony and Craig kind of looking around like, whoa, everybody's gone. It's us, one of us is going to win this competition.
We were all kind of just trying to bear down and keep loose and get through the day, just survive.
It's getting crunch time and the pressure is building, the stakes are rising, and that's what we like to see.
Guys, this does remind me a little of the British. It reminds me a little bit about, at this point, you really don't care what the weather's like. Would you agree with that, Justin? I mean, for this opportunity? If it were snowing or you're playing on pavement, I mean, we're playing on some great golf courses, and you got to hit some shots. What do you think?
We're all in the same boat. It's the only way to look at it.
Same condition. What's your attitude at this point? Now, it's gotten real quiet around here.
Very quiet.
We had 10 guys here, and now we have 3, and we know that the one that's going home has been so close, and I know you want to get in that situation where you're in the finals. And if you're in the final, I don't care if you're hitting it in a barrel, I don't care if you're hitting it through a window glass, I don't care if you're hitting it in a rotating funnel to try to get it. it's your opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's it mean to you, Craig, to get to the point where you're in the finals and you have an opportunity to get the big break?
For me, it's been my dream. It's been my dream to be a professional athlete since I was little. I always thought I had a good enough swing, whether it be baseball or golf, and I'm chasing the golf route now. And that's why I dropped everything and moved down to Florida to chase that goal. So for me, it would be huge.
You've sacrificed a lot of things in your life, obviously. You're working to try to just get through things and to make payments and to play golf.
Eating Chef Boyardee and frozen pizzas.
Are you? Yeah.
How about you, Anthony? I mean, I know you play a lot of golf, but obviously playing at a higher level has always been a dream of yours as well.
I've played some mini tours down south. Canadian tour would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean, getting out there, making cuts. I mean, that's what you're really looking to do. But yeah, I mean, this is awesome.
That's great.
How about
There's
you, Justin?
there's obviously a lot at stake.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been working my butt off, trying to break through and get to that next level, and I think this experience is just going to help me just break through that barrier. It's been, you know, last 3 years have been a little rough. Been on the mini tours, and I don't enjoy it there, and I'm waiting to break through, and I think this is really going to help.
You guys have all handled the pressure really well. We've gone through quite a few really good players. We also have gone through some players that it may not mean as much as it means to you guys because they have a job. They've got another place to go when it's all said and done. It's been a blast. But I know, you know what? You got one thing on your mind, and I'll stop talking.
That's
and
winning.
it's let's go.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. This place is awesome. Amazing.
Thank you, guys. And, well, let's go to town.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
I just wasn't sure if I swung hard. The more hard you swing, the more spin you put on it, the more spin you put on it, the more the wind affects it. And I was afraid it was just going to balloon up, hit that lip of the bunker, and spin back into the bunker, and that would be it.
Guys, I've been out on the PGA Tour for quite a long time. I've seen some really good ball strikers. But the ones that are the best and make the most money and have the best lives are those that are great from 100 yards in. We have 4 different locations here yardage-wise. 40 yards, 55, 70, 85 yards. We're going to start at 85 yards. And it's going to be the lowest score from an aggregate, distance-wise, is going to win the mulligan.
In the Wedge Challenge, each competitor will hit one wedge from 4 separate distances to a pin on the green. The player with the lowest cumulative distance from the pin after 4 shots will win the mulligan. In addition, he will receive a 46-inch TV from Sony.
Now let me tell you something. There's a bunker in front of this green that I built that is going to be a little bit more penal than it has been in some of the other shows. If you fly it in the bunker, anywhere in the bunker, and you take the edge of the bunker from the flag coming at your ball, and we're going to deem the bunker going vertically upwards from the edge, and we're going to measure it to the edge that way. We're not going to curl it down the face of the bunker. And then we're going to add plus 30 feet to that environment. It's a hazard, you know, and I don't want you just to start to fly 3 balls in the bunker thinking that's where you got to be. Anthony, you're first up. Looks like you've selected second. You're going third, Justin. You get to see what they do. We're starting at 85.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Do it.
Thanks.
Thanks. Good luck. Good luck, guys.
Now, here's what's interesting about this shot. It's that he's got a downhill lie. The ball's below his feet, which makes the ball flare to the right a little bit. And the pin is 12 yards behind the bunker. You want to keep it left of the hole. It'll feed to the hole.
I leaned into it, and it just went. I think it was wet, didn't really take the bite. Right off the bat, I hit to like 50 feet, and I was like, oh, great shot. I mean, great shot, dude.
I had a 56-degree sand wedge. The wind was kind of into us, so the only shot I was really worried about was the first one, and the whole penalty with the bunker, hitting it in the bunker, so I aimed left of the bunker.
Now, the wind just absolutely got that ball.
Keep that up.
It's on the front edge of the green. He's got a very long shot.
If I could describe it in one word, I think it would just be nasty. If you were going to imagine your worst weather day to play golf in, this would be it. I just wasn't sure if I swung hard, the more hard you swing, the more spin you put on it, the more spin you put on it, the more the wind affects it, and I was afraid it was just going to balloon up, hit that lip of the bunker and spin back into the bunker, and that would be it.
Justin's hitting lob. And he said to me earlier, he says, I don't know what club to hit. I said, well, you got about a minute to decide, so you better hurry up and make his decision. Well, look at the wind eat that thing up.
So wind going left or right? What? That was crazy.
One thing that's really playing into effect with these guys is the bunker. They don't want to lay sod on this thing, because if they do and they hit it in the bunker, it's a plus 30 feet. It's a huge penalty.
You don't slice a lob wedge like that. Move on up. Yeah.
Thanks, Craig.
No problem.
Appreciate that.
Okay, let's move up.
Let's move up. I have to tell you, for a left-handed golfer, I think he's got an advantage, especially with the ball above his feet. He can draw it into that crosswind that's blowing 30 miles an hour right to left and hold his ball on line. Oh, that's a good-looking golf shot right there. Justin, making some swing rehearsals. Notice his swing at about halfway back, little wrist cock, turns through the ball. The lob wedge, with all that acceleration that he has with his body, it's a good club selection for him.
It was a little uphill, and that wind was howling, and they threw a twist in there that if it goes in the bunker short, you're going to add 30 feet, and that's a killer. I mean, you get in the bunker, that's it, you're pretty much done.
Now that ball could spin to the right. If he's got some spin on it, the ball kicked dead to the right, which was a really smart play. A very good golf shot. Okay, Anthony, ball below his feet, playing in a crosswind, which should neutralize the flight of the ball going to the right. Caught that a little bit heavy, but you know what?
It's a good shot.
The ball, tell you what, that ball should spin down to the hole. Anthony's really trying to make a comeback from being 50 feet away in his first shot, and he needed to, trust me.
First one killed me. I just leaned into it way too hard.
Anthony just negated part of that 51 foot, the 50 range by hitting it 7 feet 2.
Phenomenal shot.
Great golf shot. That was big time for him. And we got 2 more. It boils down to a couple wedge shots for a mulligan that we know that's helped so much in the elimination.
Okay.
Let's go forward. Well, I think it's good too. The viewer can see how open their bodies get in a setup. A little long again. He hit it too far.
Come back.
All 3 players have hit their first 2 shots in the wedge challenge. Craig leads the way with the lowest cumulative distance of 46 feet and 4 inches. The guys will now hit a wedge from 55 yards and 40 yards to determine who will claim the mulligan.
Just bear down, do your job, just everything every positive image that you can muster up, just draw strength from that and just let it go. And whatever happens, happens. Stepped up to the third one, and I'm not exactly sure what I did. Bite. Just, thin shot, back, hit the slope in the back. That's gonna hurt. Never had any spin on it. It just released all the way to the back of the green.
Craig just hit a shot that he wished he could have back. He hit it thin. He's 74-1, and it's just, this really hurt him. This hurt him. Now the door is open for Justin and Anthony to create a gap that Craig can't get.
That thing didn't have a chance as soon as it left.
It's interesting. He sets up open, plays the ball back. Oh, a nice little trap. That was a really good little golf shot right there. Oh, that's a good one. Tell you, having the mulligan going into this last deal is gigantic, because these guys don't know what they're about to do in the elimination. 8 feet in, 8 inches, tremendous.
Beautiful golf shot from Justin.
I think my second and third shots were pretty good, which got me in a good position going to the last one.
What'd you get?
8 feet, something, some inches.
Shot.
You know, with 39.4, and then you look at 12.5 and 8.8, he's totally taken the lead. And he seems to be in the driver's seat. Anthony needs to stuff this. And we got one more after this. Well, I think it's good, too. The viewer can see how open their bodies get in a setup. A little long again. He hit it too far.
Come back. As we got closer, I hit another really good one. I didn't really get to see it. I tried to. Someone told me that it came pretty close to going in. That'll look sweet on TV.
He sucked it back. Look at that smile. That thing was way by the hole, and it sucked all the way back, and that's why he smiled. Good for him.
It's like 5 feet, I think. I dug my way back in after that, the poor first shot from 85. And after three out of the 4, I was like a few feet back of Justin, duking it out for a TV and the mulligan. I mean, the mulligan's huge. It's, you know, it's go time, so that mulligan's huge.
Anthony spins it back, knowing the conditions, knowing he needs acceleration, knowing he's trying to avoid the bunker. Hits it 4 feet,
9 inches.
9 inches. What a great golf shot.
Incredible.
Craig knows now he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's not in a good position.
Justin and Anthony are obviously in a position where they're competing now.
You want to stay dry?
Yeah,
I can close it if you want, but it
got you covered.
helps you. I mean, it helps you too. You get to stay dry. I had to hit first, a little 40-yard shot over that bunker. Scary little shot because, I mean, those 40-yard shots are hard, especially in those conditions. I mean, it's easy to just go under it and leave it in the bunker.
Oh, he hit a great one right here.
He did.
It's now sucked back.
He's running up to check out the results here.
I'll tell you what, though, the heat is cooking right now. 14 feet 7.
Inches for Justin.
Anthony, we've just been informed, has got to get it inside of 12 feet to beat Justin.
I was nervous and I was standing over it. I chubbed it a little bit.
Just slow.
You know, it's wet. It's not going to spin back for me.
He didn't do it.
Go! The third one came way back. That's done. I needed to send it left and suck it back down the hill, and it didn't work out for me, so just move on. You know, you're just out of there. It's fine, just let's go.
There was room for him to beat me. I really thought he was going to hit a good shot. Craig mathematically couldn't catch me either. It was a good feeling. I was like, wow, this is great. I got the mulligan. I knew whatever the challenge is, when you only have 3 people, a mulligan's huge. The least amount of people, the mulligan becomes more important.
The thin shot that Craig hit, he's out of it. He's hitting this shot, it's consolation.
I was trying to hold my last shot to win whatever the prize was and then just move on to the next challenge. So I felt all right. I made 4 pretty good swings, but I didn't get the mulligan. Yeah. So I knew, whatever the elimination round was going to be, I was going to have to work my way through again.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You know, it looked like, you talked to me a little bit earlier and talked about the club selection.
Yeah.
You made a great choice in what you decided on. Why'd you do that?
I have a 52. I have a 58 and a 52. And I know the 58's obviously better for these ones. That was going to be a big advantage. I didn't want to have to use a 52, but I was originally going to use a 52. I had it in my hands because I know I can open it up and still, work with it a little bit on these shots. And when I saw Anthony hit his lob wedge, and he hit it, 50 feet past the pin, I ran back to the car and got my lob wedge. Then I knew.
That just says a lot for reacting to the environment, and you're doing that. Good players react. They don't have this plan. The plan, there is no plan. You just react and you play, and you did a really good job. I also noticed how you played left of the hole. You saw the slope. You read into there's about 4.5% of grade there, 3 to 5%. Total on this green, going left to right, and that really played into your hands. You read the green. You're reading the green from 40, 50, 60, 70 yards. That's a good move on your part. And It looks like, what's he going to win?
Well, I was going to say congratulations to Justin. I mean, the mulligan, which will be huge going into the elimination
Giant.
challenge.
Mulligans are great.
Yeah, but also the 46-inch Sony TV.
How about that?
That is
any
awesome.
good? Now, here's the interesting thing. The mulligan going into the elimination challenge is big. It's been proven to be big for all of our contestants, and this is going to be a real interesting competition that you're about to see.
Yeah.
Good luck
It's
to you.
been interesting every time.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Good
Thanks,
luck.
Rick. Thanks, guys. It's pretty windy. You see that? Come on. I know these other two guys want it real bad, but I mean, I feel like it's almost impossible for anybody to want it more than I do.
This may be my chance to, you know, get to the next level, and it may not, but I'm going to get there one way or another. But I'm hoping that this is my shot.
You go out and shoot some good rounds. You say, God, why am I working 40 hours a week? Why I should be playing?
I don't want to be on these mini tours anymore. It's too much of a struggle. It's not where I want to be. It's not where I think my game is at. I think I belong at the highest level. Mini tours are not, you don't make living on the mini tours. You can't do it. I mean, if you break even, you're playing phenomenal. There's just not enough money to be made.
Turned pro last year. Now I'm struggling. You know, I'm off. I'm not playing anywhere except, you know, local skins and 555s.
This is what I'm here for. It's what I dropped everything up in, you know, my life up in Connecticut after college and moved down to Florida. That's why I'm here.
I'm almost not enjoying the game when I'm out there because I'm just, you know, once things start going bad, I'm worried about how am I going to pay for the mortgage? You know, I got a daughter's school.
Justin Peters, our smooth swinger of the group. He's by far got the best looking swing, I think, most natural swing to look at. He's a great player, a lot of experience. Anthony is probably our youngest member, I believe, and he's a wildcat. He's got an opinion, and he's not afraid. He's very confident, very cocky, which is good because that reflects the way he swings, too. Very confident, very cocky, and he can really hit the ball well. And that's going to serve him well playing mini tours, whatever tours he gets on in the future.
Craig's one of the nicest guys. Again, he's a fighter. He's a hard worker. I've been able to see close up what Craig does on a daily basis, being we both play out of the same club, and I've seen him practice really hard.
He's been a good friend of mine, and I look forward to playing with him and working with him in the future, and hopefully we'll both achieve the same goal and be friends out on tour. That would be a nice goal. That'd be a nice thing to have happen.
I've had a lot of struggles in my life, and get all choked up here. I'm usually like a rock. It's tough to get some emotion out of me like that, but I'm just thinking about how I'd feel if I did win.
It's not going to change. I don't think it's not going to turn into rooting against each other at all because it's golf. I mean, you just try to hit good golf shots. But I think everyone's they're starting to feel like, you know, I'm close, used to the cameras, you know, used to having people right on top of you, used to knowing, you know, you might have to gut it out in a really weird situation.
All right, guys, coming down to the nitty-gritty. Now, one of the interesting things about this competition, you know, it boils down to really good putting. We've got an 8-foot circle. You're going to find that there's 6 putts that you're going to be hitting. You're going to hole out every single putt. Now, the highest score goes home.
In the elimination challenge, each competitor will hit a total of 6 putts from different positions around an 8-foot circle surrounding the hole. The order of play will be rotated. The players must hole out their putts, and the player with the highest number of putts for the 6 positions will be eliminated.
Well, this should be interesting.
Should be great.
Yeah.
Should be great. It's a good idea.
what it all boils down
like
to
this.
most tournaments. Most tournaments boil down to having to make putts like this. Well, let's see what happens. Winning tournaments comes down to putting. You don't win tournaments without making crucial putts, without putting well, and I thought it was a great challenge.
It's not cool. I'm really mad at you guys. But putting, I mean, I have days where I just, you know, I hit a lot of good shots and shoot 73 or 74, 75. It's like, I've been putting terrible. I mean, I wasn't fired up at all. What do you think? You make all deuces in your head?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we got to go around and see how it's going, you know? It could be good, it could be like 4 shots or 3 shots off.
I mean, you guys have been putting well, so I mean, I wouldn't say all deuces.
I think we're all good putters here.
What we're dealing with here is the conditions are so bad, Catherine, that as they go around the circle, it's really windy.
It was cold, it was rainy. It must have felt like 45 to us with all the rain dripping and everything wet and heavy on us.
When you're dealing with wind, you know, I can't even hold this umbrella. You're dealing with a stroke that's gonna move. The good athlete can adjust.
Are we ready?
We're ready to roll.
Okay.
It's going to be Craig first, Anthony second, Justin third. Let's not forget that Justin has the mulligan.
That was a difficult challenge, very difficult.
They are really nervous. The guy that goes home, you know, he's gonna miss that opportunity for the big break.
I'm good in the rain, and I figured I'd beat one of them if it's pouring. I mean, I just love it. There's 3 of us. I'm good in rain. I'll get it together good enough to beat one of them.
Oof. Just the same side I did.
The first few putts are very fast. As we swing around the clock, it's gonna be a lot slower.
Three guys got to do it. Let's see who can make the most putts under pressure, because that's what it's all about, being able to make the putt under pressure.
The stroke that has the waviness to it and the long is not gonna do as well in the wind. Justin has more of a shorter type of stroke, the pop stroke. See that little pop that he had? And he makes it.
Nice.
But as events turned out, we got up there and Justin just holed a clutch putt.
Huge advantage going into our second environment, okay?
Yell out the order again, just so we hear.
Anthony, Justin, and then Craig.
Okay. Justin made right off the bat, which is, I mean, that's just like, all right, you got it on lockdown until someone else makes one.
This putt's gonna be breaking right to left. And it's got some speed, even though it's wet out here. There's a lot of tilt to this green.
Wow, look at that thing break. Whew.
We'll see if he can make a cut. He needs some 1-putts. We're looking at Justin as the only 1-putt. We got
Dying.
Anthony's got a couple 2-putts. And here's Justin again. I'll tell you what, if Justin makes this, you know, we've only got 4 more putts to make. But the conditions, obviously, it's not gonna break as much. So watch this pop type of putt, which I think is very good in the wind. Look at this putt.
Oh.
It breaks a lot. Do you see how much that broke, Catherine? That broke about 3.5 to 4 inches. 2 putts, he's still got a 1-up lead. As we go now to Craig.
That putt breaks so much.
I know.
Now here again, here's a left-handed golfer. This is a slight spot, where it was a hook putt for Justin.
When I saw it was putting and what we were doing, I was actually very happy. I have good confidence. I don't take a practice stroke. I walk up, line it up, make sure I'm loose and go.
Oh, he ran it. Oh.
How about that one? That ball breaks a lot. And trust me, you know, these 1.5 foot, 2-footers, these aren't easy.
I I've been there before, I've been through it, kind of comfortable with the situation. Not happy about the weather and the conditions, and exhausted. It's kind of like going out and playing golf and missing every green and having to get up and down every time. It starts to wear on you.
Justin's hold putt from the first position in the elimination challenge has propelled him into a narrow lead with 4 positions still remaining. The player with the highest total after all 6 positions are completed will be eliminated.
Raindrops keep falling on me. I hate it.
To be honest with you, the weather was horrible all day, and we noticed it all day. It was miserable, it was dragging, it was making us tired.
My hands are freezing, had hand warmers in the pockets just to keep the feel. It was just a day of survival.
Justin now is swinging back up the hill a bit. He's got an uphill putt that's going to break a fraction to his left.
Wow, good putt.
Didn't hit it. Do you see the uphill part of this circle here?
Leave it short.
How much shall lead?
It's not enough.
This competition is starting to really heat up. I mean, none of these guys wants to go home.
Well, it's very close. Now again, he's still in a slice environment as a left-handed golfer, which means this ball's going to go to his left. And we know, because it's so wet, that the speed's really critical here.
Hit it. Just didn't hit it.
That's probably the easiest putt.
Yeah.
Those other 2 things are fast. It scares a little bit.
Just didn't hit it.
They were all 8 feet, and they were all pretty quick. You're trying to make, and you're trying to not make a mistake, which is good and bad. You gotta strategize, though, as far as you're just trying to stay alive. You're not trying to shoot 64, so.
Yep. Yep.
Putt, Anthony.
I made my putt. I was fired up. It was easy, too, because, I mean, they both left it short, and all I did was just hit it. I mean, it was an easy putt to make.
There's a make. We have a tie. Right now, Anthony and Justin are tied up. Now, remember something. Justin has a mulligan, and if he's smart, he's going to save it. He knows he got off to a good start.
My putting felt I had good distance control. I picked a line where, as the ball was slowing down, it would feed to the hole. It went up, and it was just maybe a hair short of how much power I wanted to hit it. It just never fed down to the hole.
He didn't hit it. It's wet.
One more roll.
It's wet.
I've been there before. I've been through it, kind of comfortable with the situation. Not happy about the weather and the conditions, and exhausted. It's kind of like going out and playing golf and missing every green and having to get up and down every time. It starts to wear on you.
Now, with Anthony's unorthodox grip, which, you see a lot of different grips on tour today. You see the claw, you see different grips to make different things happen. It's to create a sensation of stability in the face, to take the wrists out. A lot of people get real flippy through impact. It didn't break near as much as he thought. If Justin makes his putt, it's going to give him a huge, huge advantage going into the last 2 holes.
Once he still has the mulligan.
He popped it, he blocked it. Now, he blocked it out, he didn't give it enough read. We have Anthony and Justin tied. If Craig one putts, I'll guarantee it. If Justin misses, he may use his mulligan early. Let's take a look. Anthony's putt is breaking. It's downhill, and it's breaking to his right. This is the sliced putt I'm talking about. Craig's going to be in a position to have these hook putts, which is what he likes. Anthony would love to put the heat on Justin right now.
Hang on. Oh, man, I hate that. Damn.
We had a different type of putt on each one. You know, we had the uphill, the downhill, left to right, right to left, uphill, you know, from both sides.
If he makes this, he's playing in the final show right here.
I thought you made yours. You saw mine. No.
Craig, he knows this is the most important putt because he's behind. He has not had a one putt yet, and he does not wait. He doesn't want to wait till the last hole.
Oh, jeez. Nice putt, Craig.
It's going to boil down to Craig making the last putt because right now, here's the bottom line. If they both two putt and Craig doesn't make, Craig's going home. Craig knows he has to make.
It's a big putt right here. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it.
With just one position remaining, Anthony and Justin lead Craig by 1. Craig must now make up a putt on either of his fellow competitors if he is to avoid being eliminated.
Justin knows if he makes, he's playing in the finals. If he misses, trust me, he'll be hitting another putt. Fast putt, breaking right. Here comes the mulligan.
I'm gonna take my mulligan on that. Okay?
Okay, he makes, he's playing in the finals. He misses, he still has he's got a good chance because he's still leading. He and Anthony are leading the competition.
I elected to use the mulligan on the last putt because I felt, you know, obviously if I make it, I'm in. So I wanted to control my own destiny, and I got up there and I hit it and a little firm. I mean, I was not trying to hit that thing 3 feet by the hole, and I was a little upset with myself there because that's a mistake you just cannot make.
He has to make this putt.
And I step up there, I mean, it wasn't good. You know, it wasn't inside the leather. Nobody was saying, pick it up, it's good. I had to make that putt. And in those conditions, I mean, anything can happen. So I was a little nervous, but I put a good stroke on it, got in the hole, and that was it. I was in. As long as Craig didn't make his putt, that was the one key. And I really felt he was gonna make it.
Craig knows he has to make.
It's a big putt right here. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it.
Well, I knew I had to make that putt, and I went after it just a little too much, and it kind of popped through my line. It was a little too hard.
Okay. Put a lot of good strokes on it.
I just hit that one for the rest of them. Hit the hole 3-4 times.
Stroked them all good. They just didn't want to drop for some reason.
I agree with that.
It was a brutal putt. I mean, it's raining out all day, and it's still fast. I mean, really fast. They both missed, and I knew exactly what I had to do. It went in, finished it off in some style, so I was stoked.
Good job. Nice putt. Good job, man.
Good job.
Play well.
Thanks, Scott.
Play well, guys.
It seemed like you were growing and getting better as the competition was going on. You felt more comfortable, and I think that can do a lot for you as a player.
Absolutely. I learned a lot. I learned a lot this week that I will draw on later on in other tournaments. And this wasn't my big break, but there'll be others.
Guess what? I'm sure we'll see you again.
Yeah.
All right.
I really felt he was going to make it because he was stroking the ball real well in the first 5 putts. He hit the hole 2 or 3 times. I really felt he was going to make it.
I think I hit some good putts. I really did. I think I had 3, maybe 4 that touched the hole, and 1 that kind of almost went down in. Some people said, I know that could have been 3 or 4 ones on my card, but it turned out to be 6 twos, and it just wasn't good enough. Those guys made a couple, and that put me out of it.
He came out and he hit every shot he needed under pressure. I mean, he didn't show a weakness this week on his game. Swing looked good, and his short game was solid, his putting, everything. He was well-rounded, and I mean, he advanced to the final 3. I mean, I'm sure he's very proud of himself, too.
He just said, just wait and see pretty much what this week's going to mean to you later on. You're going to be surprised how people are going to look at you. And that was really classy, nice, gentlemanly thing of him to say to me. I appreciated it. I really did.
I've played golf with Craig a few times. I've seen how hard he works. He practices his butt off. When I show up to the golf course, he's already there practicing. When I leave, he's still practicing.
It hurts to see someone go. I think we were the young guys kind of in a way. I know what he felt like at some other point in my career too, so it hurts because he's a super nice kid.
Back at the bunkhouse the last time. We were both thinking that would have been something if it was both the guys from the same room in the final. That would have been something interesting. Didn't work out that way. Both Anthony and Justin have great swings, but I think Justin's gonna edge him somewhere with experience where Anthony might not have had it. 30-some luck. Every day. Gotta do it. I didn't put it on today, imagine that. Didn't need it today. Material for the throw.
You look at a guy like Justin, who never really had his back against the wall because he played solid all the way through. It just goes to show you he's a bit more consistent than I am right now, but I need to get to that level. I almost forgot. I walked out of here without half my clothes. I have 2 weeks off, then I have to stop and look at the bank account and see if I can keep going on the Hooters tour or if I have to go back to, back to a mix of day job and playing and practicing and trying to save up money for next year's tour. So we shall see. Let's get out of here. Back to the road. You guys gonna make me look like a weakling? Couldn't get my sign off. Just Justin now.
He traveled leaps and bounds past a lot of people this week, you know, with where he started the week and where he finished it. It was pretty impressive.
Next time on The Big Break.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what they're going to have in store for us today, but we're going to find out.
The final twosome square off for the Canadian Tour exemptions.
When I'm playing a guy, I'm always expecting that he's going to make the shot, that he's going to pull off the miracle shot.
Oh, he made it. What a great putt.
I don't like to lose. I don't like to be beat. And if somebody's going to start throwing fist pumps on me, I don't like that.
Fantastic. Fantastic shot, dude.
As the competition heats up, a startling turn of events for Justin.
I looked down at my hand and it looked like it was bent.
Justin and Anthony have come this far, but only one will go the distance. Next week, a live 2-hour season finale reunites all of the competitors as they watch the final challenge unfold. After the finale, a special 1-hour call-in show where viewers can ask the guys about their experience on the show. It's all next time on The Big Break.
I'm going to be drawing on a lot of the images, thoughts, and feelings that I had from here this week. And I really thank everyone for the opportunity. It was awesome. I had a tremendous week. I really did.